Tyra? ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಬಾ. ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡು, ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತು. Good morning, everyone. Last class, we discussed about the difference between two-stroke engine and a four-stroke engine. Then continuation of the differences. Today, you learn a few more differences which are very much essential for differentiate the four-stroke and two-stroke engines. Next, come to the point, very important, that is the engine cooling. All of you seen in a car and a truck and many vehicles, in the front of the engine there will be a radiator. There will be radiator. What is the function of the radiator? The function of the radiator is to function of the radiator is to function of the radiator to cool the circulated coolant, that is the circulated throughout the engine, which carries the heat developed in the engine, that should be removed. The heat should be removed from the coolant. That is the function of the radiator. Many of you seen in car, truck and heavy vehicles, the front of the engine there will be a radiator. So the radiator, the function of the radiator is to remove the heat developed in the engine by circulating the coolant. Coolant absorbs the heat developed in the engine, again which is coming to the radiator, where the heat is removed from the coolant. That is the function of the radiator. So in four-stroke engine and two-stroke engine, the difference is usually the four-stroke engines, they use radiator for cooling of the engine. That is nothing but circulation of coolant throughout the engine and removing the heat from the engine by circulating the coolant throughout the engine. So that is the cooling of the engine by coolant. But in case of a two-stroke engine, the cooling of the engine takes place by air. Say the air. Say when the vehicle moves in the forward direction, the air coming in the opposite direction, which hit the engine block and engine head, so that whichever the heat developed in the engine, removed by the air. Removed by the air. That is the major difference between four-stroke and the two-stroke engine in the case of engine cooling system. The engine cooling is carried out in four-stroke engine by circulating the coolant throughout the engine. That is, the heat developed in the crankshaft, that is removed by circulating the coolant throughout the engine. In case of two-stroke engine, that is cooling by air. The engine cooling takes place by air. When the vehicle moves in the road, the opposite direction, you have the air which makes the heat transfer. That is, air carries the heat from the engine to the surrounding. Next, come to the point, the direction of rotation of the crankshaft. See here, this is very, very important. The 10th difference in two-stroke and two-stroke engine and a four-stroke engine, the crankshaft rotates only in one direction. Remember, in the four-stroke engine, the camshaft, the crankshaft rotates only in one direction. But in case of crankshaft in two-stroke engine, which rotates in both the directions, that is clockwise as well as in the anti-clockwise direction. Remember, once again, the cooling system in the four-stroke engine by circulating the coolant throughout the engine chamber by carrying the heat by the coolant, which is transferred to the coolant. Then the coolant, the hot coolant passed through the radiator. In the radiator, again, the temperature of the coolant is reduced. Again, the cooled coolant again circulated in the engine. The same way, in two-stroke engine, the air coming in the opposite direction, which hit the engine and brings the heat from the engine head and the engine block. In this way, the heat developed in the two-stroke engine that can be removed. So like this, the cooling system of the engine is also very, very important. Next, come to the point, the direction of rotation of the crankshaft. In case of a four-stroke engine, the crankshaft rotates only in one direction. Remember, in your lifetime, in the four-stroke engine, the crankshaft rotates only in one direction. But in case of crankshaft of the two-stroke engine, which rotates in both the directions, clockwise as well as in the anti-clockwise direction. Next, come to the point, the lubricating oil. Say, all the engines require lubricating oil because the friction between the piston and the cylinder is very, very high. In order to avoid the generation of the heat between the cylinder bore and the piston is very, very high. From the lubricating oil, you can reduce the friction between the piston and the cylinder. So this difference is very much essential for differentiating two-stroke and four-stroke two-stroke and four-stroke engines. That is, the consumption of lubricating oil in case of four-stroke engine is less because the movement of the piston is rapid, and for that reason the lubricating oil consumption is less. In case of two-stroke engine, the complete cycle takes place by two-stroke of the piston. For that reason, the movement of the piston is very, very high in case of two-stroke. For that reason, the consumption of the lubricating oil is very, very high in case of two-stroke engine. Next, come to the point, fuel consumption. This is a very, very important difference between four-stroke and the two-stroke engines because the fuel consumption, say nowadays, the cost of the fuel is very, very high. The cost of petrol, 1 liter of petrol costs 80 rupees and 1 liter of diesel costs 70 rupees. See, the consumption of the petrol. So we can think for 1 liter of petrol, the vehicle can run how many kilometers, like that. The fuel consumption per kilometer or per liter of petrol, how many kilometers the vehicle can run. Because of the consumption, fuel consumption, if you have very good fuel consumption, then the engine run more than the comparison. In this case, four-stroke engine, the fuel consumption is less. Say, remember, the fuel consumption is less because each stroke, say there will be 4 stroke, one is suction stroke, compression stroke, expansion stroke, and the exhaust stroke. Each stroke makes its work. For that reason, the consumption of the fuel is less. Consumption of the fuel is less in case of four-stroke engine. In the same way, the consumption of fuel in case of two-stroke engine is more when it is compared to four-stroke engine. All of you saying the fuel consumption, that is according to the fuel consumption only, the customers can buy the vehicles. Say they ask the showroom people or vehicle dealer how many kilometers the vehicle can give. That is nothing but per liter the vehicle can run how many kilometers. If the fuel consumption is more, then the people may think for other vehicles. For that reason, fuel consumption is very, very important for selection of vehicle, whether it may be four-stroke or two-stroke. The fuel consumption of a four-stroke engine is less. The fuel consumption of a two-stroke engine is very, very high. Next, come to the point, the efficiency. We discussed about the efficiency of engine, efficiency of the engine. The say for any system or any machine tool or anything, first we discuss about the efficiency. The efficiency is always less than 1 or less than unity. That is nothing but the efficiency of engine. We have to consider for difference between four-stroke and two-stroke engine. So in case of a four-stroke engine, the efficiency of the engine is less. So remember, the efficiency of the four-stroke engine is less, and the efficiency of the two-stroke engine is more when it is compared to four-stroke engine. Say one thing you have to remember. Say the one cycle is completed in four-stroke engine by the movement of the piston 4 times, up and down and up. Like this, the 4 times piston moves up and down. For that reason, the vibration, friction, and the noise is very, very high. Due to that, the efficiency of the four-stroke engine is less when it is compared to two-stroke engine. So consider the name itself indicates mechanical efficiency. The mechanical efficiency can be defined as the ratio of input and ratio of input to the output. That is nothing but whichever the input provided to the engine, what is the output? From that, you can calculate the mechanical efficiency of the engine. That is called mechanical efficiency. That is the ratio of input to the output. The same way, the efficiency of the four-stroke engine, which is less when it is compared to the mechanical efficiency of the two-stroke engine, because the one cycle of the engine is completed in two-stroke engine. That is, by the two-stroke of the piston, one cycle is completed. Due to that, there will be less noise, less vibration, less friction. Due to that, the mechanical efficiency of the two-stroke engine is high when it is compared to four-stroke engine. Four-stroke engine. Say, next come to the point, the noise. The noise. So all of you say the noise of the engine. That is nothing but the pollution, noise pollution. Say, as per the government regulations, no company can manufacture two-stroke engines in India. Two-stroke engines in India, because the pollution made by the two-stroke engine is more than the four-stroke engine. For that reason, the government of India has made mandatory that all the manufacturer of engine, they must manufacture four-stroke engine only, whether it may be petrol or diesel. They have to manufacture the four-stroke engine only. In comparison with the two-stroke and four-stroke engine, the exhaust takes place in the exhaust stroke. See, remember, the exhaust, the noise coming in the exhaust stroke, which is high. For that reason, in the four-stroke engine, the exhaust means burnt gases are exit out in the exhaust gas. Due to that, the noise developed in the engine is less. Noise developed in the engine is less. The same difference in case of two-stroke engine, there will be ports in the engine cylinder, the exhaust port. Because of movement of the piston, the scavenging takes place. Remember the definition of scavenging, that is nothing but fill the engine cylinder, fill the engine cylinder with the fresh charge. In the meantime, exhaust the burnt gases, exhaust the burnt gases or expel the burnt gases from the engine. That is nothing but the filling the engine cylinder with the fresh charge. Fresh charge means air and petrol or air and petrol. At the meantime, whichever the burnt gases present in the cylinder, it should be expelled out. That is through the port present in the cylinder. From that, you can expel the burnt gases. That is due to that, the noise of the engine, four-stroke engine is less. The same thing, the noise level in case of petrol engine is more. In case of petrol engine is more. See, next come to the point, the last difference. The last difference, users. See, the last difference, the users, where we use the two-stroke engine and four-stroke engine. We use a four-stroke engine in cars, bikes, trucks. Nowadays, in all the two-wheeler and all the car, truck and all the heavy vehicles, we use four-stroke engines. The two-stroke engines are used in, that is 20 years back or 40 years back, not nowadays, used in two-wheelers, motorcycles and scooters. Today, all the motorcycles are made of four-stroke engines only. So in the difference, you can write the two-stroke engines are used in scooters and bikes. But in case of four-stroke engines, you must write the car, truck, jeep, and heavy vehicles. These are the 15 differences we have for two-stroke engine and the four-stroke engine. Once again, the differences between, comparison between the two-stroke and the four-stroke engine. That's the difference between four-stroke and the two-stroke engines. Once again, say in the examination, you have a question. Write the difference between four-stroke and two-stroke engine. For that, you must write minimum 10 differences. Then you will get full marks. Usually, this question for 5 marks. In module 3, you have a question for difference between the two-stroke and four-stroke engine. So once again, the differences, the first difference, number of strokes per cycle. Say, remember, the cycle means the movement, completing the movement of piston top to bottom, bottom to the top, so that the crankshaft rotates 2 times or 1 time. So due to that, movement of the crankshaft is directly coupled to the movement of the vehicle through the gearbox. So from that, you have one rotation or two rotation. That's very, very important. One rotation or two rotation. From that, you have the more running of the vehicle. So from that, the number of strokes are very, very important for differentiating four-stroke and two-stroke engine. That is, the four-stroke engine, four separate strokes for completion of one cycle. Again, remember, the four strokes are suction stroke, compression stroke, expansion stroke or power stroke, and the last one is exhaust stroke. But in case of two-stroke engine, in the two-stroke of the piston, suction and exhaust both takes place, but in between that you have expansion and power stroke, so that you can differentiate like this. The four-stroke engine requires the four movement of the piston, four-stroke of the piston, but in case of two-stroke engine, two-stroke of the piston completes one cycle. Next, come to the point, the number of cycles per minute. This is very, very important. In a minute, how many cycles completed by the engine? That is the number of cycle per minute, which is equal to the half of the speed of the engine. This calculation is very much essential for calculation of specific fuel consumption, thermal efficiency, mechanical efficiency. The for four-stroke engine, the number of cycles per minute, that is lowercase letter n equal to n by 2. The uppercase letter n indicates the speed of the engine. The speed of the engine. In case of a two-stroke engine, all of you observe here, the number of cycles required per minute, small n equal to big N, that is the lowercase letter n, that is the number of cycles required per minute, n equal to, which is equal to speed of the engine, that is n, that is n. Next, come to the point number 3, the power. So we can calculate the power developed by the engine, that is nothing but torque. That is nothing but torque. How much torque developed in the engine in a particular speed. You might have seen in the advertisement or in the TV at 4,500 RPM, the engine develops 150 newtons meter torque. Many advertisement of car, you might have seen the torque developed by the car at the speed of 4,500 RPM. You have a torque of 150 newtons meter. That is nothing but power. Power developed in the engine. That is nothing but the rotation of the crankshaft. Due to that, how much power is developed in the engine. Say, that is in the case of four-stroke engine. In the alternate revolution, power is developed. But in case of two-stroke engine, power developed in every stroke or every revolution of the crankshaft. Every revolution of the crankshaft. Next, come to the point, flywheel. Say, all of you seen in sugarcane making machine, by the side of the roller, there will be a big wheel which is rotating in the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, so that whenever the roller requires the energy, that is supplied by the flywheel. So that is the function of the flywheel. And also you can call it as governor. You can call flywheel also a governor. Whenever engine requires the energy that is supplied by the flywheel, that is supplied by the flywheel. So the function of the flywheel is directly coupled to the torque developed in the engine. Torque developed in the engine. For that reason, the torque which is developed in the engine is high in case of four-stroke engine, because the flywheel is used also a heavy one in four-stroke engine. Due to that, the torque developed in the engine is very high in case of four-stroke engine. The same thing, the torque developed in the four-stroke engine is less. Torque developed in the engine is less because the flywheel, the function of the flywheel will not come into the picture in case of two-stroke engine. That is completely based on rotation of the crankshaft. Sometimes, because the lighter flywheel is used in the two-stroke engine, the torque developed in the two-stroke engine is less. Let's come to the point, the admission of charge. Admission of charge. How to allow the charge to fill the engine chamber, to fill the engine chamber. Due to the suction created by the piston movement, the vacuum is created in the engine cylinder. Due to that, suction takes place. Suction means the air and fuel mixture will come into the engine chamber. But in case of two-stroke engine, the charge is first admitted into the crankcase. Remember, here it is cylinder, here it is crankcase. So in that crankcase, the expansion of the gas takes place. Due to that, piston moves upward direction. Next, come to the point, the exhaust gas. Exhaust gas, say the very important function of the engine, how the exhaust gas can be expelled outside the engine or exit the exhaust gas, or the burnt gases present in the cylinder, how do you expel out? That's very important. In case of a four-stroke engine, there will be a separate stroke called as exhaust stroke. From that, you can expel the burnt gases outside. But in case of two-stroke engine, there will be an exhaust port present in the cylinder head. From that port, the exhaust gases are released to the atmosphere. The exhaust of unburnt gases and burnt gases through the exhaust port present in the cylinder head. That function is carried out by the piston itself. Remember, in case of two-stroke engine, the exhaust takes place due to the movement of the piston. But in case of four-stroke engine, there will be a separate stroke is present, that is known as exhaust stroke, where the gas and burnt gases are expelled out through the opening of the exhaust valve or the outlet valve. But in case of a two-stroke engine, there will be a port called as exhaust port. From that, you can exit the exhaust gas outside the engine. That is very important for four-stroke engine and the two-stroke engine. See, come to the point, very important. The valves present in case of four-stroke engine, there will be separate inlet valve and exhaust valves are present. Depending on the stroke, the inlet valve opens and exhaust valve opens. that when the suction stroke takes place, at that time inlet valve is open. At that time, at the meantime, exhaust valve is closed. At the end of the third stroke and starting of the fourth stroke, exhaust valve is open, which makes the exhaust gas to exit out. A separate valves are present in case of four-stroke engine, but in case of two-stroke engine, piston itself opens and closes the port present in the cylinder. Port present in the cylinder, that is the suction port and the exhaust port, and there will be one more port is there, transfer port. From that, the charge filled in the crankcase, which is moved upward direction by opening of the transfer port. Remember, in case of two-stroke engine, in case of four-stroke engine, there may be a difference. There will be two valves are present in case of four-stroke engine, that is the inlet valve and the exhaust valve. But in case of two-stroke engine, the ports present in the cylinder, which is covered, which is filled, which is open by the movement of the piston. And there will be one more port is present, transfer port, which is very much essential for moving of the charge from crankcase to the upward direction of the cylinder. Next, come to the point. The crankcase is always closed in case of four-stroke engine. The crankcase is closed hermetically. In case of two-stroke engine also, the crankcase is closed hermetically. But this is the crankcase is made to run in clockwise as well as anti-clockwise direction in case of four-stroke engine. In case of two-stroke engine, the crankshaft rotates only in one direction. So this much is enough for this class. Now I make unmute to all. If you have any questions regarding the difference between two-stroke and petrol engine, please ask me. Nesara, can you listen? Rahul, can you listen? Ashita?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have any question regarding difference between two-stroke and four-stroke engine?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Now I stop at this stage and I will continue in the next class. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.